Close your eyes for a moment, if they aren't closed already, and let yourself settle into the quiet. Imagine that you are lying on your back in an open field, late at night, somewhere far away from any city, far away from any light that isn't the light of the stars. The grass is cool beneath you, the air is soft, and above you, stretching from one edge of the horizon to the other, is the night sky, deeper and darker and fuller of stars than you have ever seen it. You are not in a hurry tonight. There is nowhere you need to be.
Liftoff of the
There is
Delta
nothing
rocket
you need to
carrying
solve.
blast.
There
A
is
gamma
only
ray
this
telescope
slow,
searching for
gentle
unseen
invitation
physics
to wonder
in the
about
stars
something
of the
very
galaxy.
large and very old. Something that began long before you were born, long before anyone was born, long before the Earth or the Sun, or even the first faint glimmer of light in the universe. Tonight, we are going to drift backward through time, not just to last year, or to your childhood, or to the days of the ancient pyramids, but all the way back, past the dinosaurs, past the cooling of the young Earth,
10,
past
9,
the birth of the
8,
very first
7,
star, until
6,
we arrive at
5,
the strangest question of all.
3,
What was
2,
there before the
1,
beginning? What
0,
came before the Big Bang?
Liftoff of
It is a
Space
question
Shuttle
so
Atlantis
vast
on a
and
mission
so
to
soft
build,
at the edges that it
resupply,
feels less
and
like
to
a
do
problem
research
to be
on the
answered,
International
and more
Space
like a
Station.
lullaby to be hummed in the dark.
Houston now controlling.
And
Atlantis
that is
begins its
exactly
penultimate
what we are
journey to
going
shore
to
up the
do.
International
We are
Space
going to
Station.
hum this question together, slowly,
Atlantis now in the proper
turning it
alignment
over
for its
and
8.5
over
minute
like
ride
a
to orbit,
smooth
4.5 million pounds
stone
of
in your
hardware and
hand,
humans taking aim on the
until it
International
carries you
Outpost.
gently down into sleep. Before we go any further into the deep quiet
30
of this
seconds into the
story,
flight.
let me say
Atlantis
something
almost 2
simple,
miles in altitude,
and then
almost
we
6
will
miles
not
downrange from
interrupt
the
the
Kennedy
calm
Space Center
again.
already, traveling
If you
500
find
miles an
that
hour.
this voice helps your mind grow still, if it helps you
Three
let go
liquid
of
fuel
the
main
day
engines now
and
throttling
slip
back to
toward rest,
72% of
you
rated
might
performance
gently
going
tap
into the
the
bucket,
like
reducing
button,
the stress
and
on
you
the
might
shuttle as it breaks
subscribe
through
to
the
the
sound
channel,
barrier.
so that on another restless night, this same kind of quiet can find you again. That is all. There is nothing more to do. You can let your hand fall back to your side now, and let your attention float back up to the stars, because from here on we will only be drifting, slower and slower, into the soft mystery of where everything came from. So let us begin where every curious person eventually begins, with the night sky itself. Have you ever looked up at the stars and felt something tug quietly inside your chest? A feeling that is half wonder and half a kind of pleasant smallness? Those points of light are not just decorations on a dark ceiling. Each one is a sun, many of them far larger than our own. And the light you are seeing left them so long ago that some of those stars may no longer exist at all. You are looking, in a very real sense, at the past. The night sky is a kind of memory, and if you keep following that thread of memory backward, further and further, the stars themselves begin to dissolve, and you find yourself approaching the oldest memory there is, the moment we call the Big Bang. Now, the words Big Bang sound loud, don't they? They sound like an explosion, like something sudden and violent that shattered the silence. But that name is a little misleading, and I want to gently correct it before we go on, because the truth is much calmer and much stranger. The Big Bang was not an explosion in space. There was no bang, no sound, no fire spreading outward into an empty room. Instead, it was the beginning of space itself, and the beginning of time itself, all at once, everywhere at once. Imagine that for a moment. Not something appearing inside the universe, but the universe itself beginning to be. Let me give you a small, everyday picture to hold on to, because abstract ideas are hard to carry into sleep, but familiar images are soft and easy. Think of a raisin bread dough, sitting in a warm kitchen, slowly rising. As the dough expands, every raisin moves away from every other raisin. No raisin is at the center. No raisin is being pushed by an explosion. The space between them is simply growing. That is much closer to what the Big Bang was. The universe did not blow apart into a room that was already there. The room itself was growing, and everything within it was carried gently along, like raisins in rising dough, drifting apart in every direction at once. And so when we ask what came before the Big Bang, we are not asking what was in the room before the explosion. We are asking something far stranger and far gentler. We are asking what came before there was any room at all. We are asking what came before. And already you can feel how the question begins to soften and blur, the way the edges of your thoughts soften and blur when you are very close to sleep. That blurring is not a failure of your understanding. It is the honest shape of the question itself. This is a place where even the sharpest minds in the world feel their certainty melt away into something more like quiet wonder. Take a slow breath now, and let it out slowly. There is no rush. We have all the time in the world tonight, which is fitting, because time itself is one of the great characters in our story. For most of your life, time has probably felt like a river. It flows in one direction, from the past, through the present, into the future, always moving, never stopping, carrying you along whether you like it or not. You wake, the day passes, you sleep, and another day comes. The river of time seems as permanent and as obvious as the ground beneath your feet. It is hard to imagine time being any other way. It is even harder to imagine time not existing at all. But here is the gentle, dizzying idea at the heart of tonight's story. According to our best understanding of the universe, time is not a fixed stage on which events happen. Time is woven together with space, and both of them came into being together at the Big Bang. So when you ask what happened before the Big Bang, you may be asking a question that has no answer, not because the answer is hidden, but because the word before may not mean anything there. Asking what came before time is a little like standing at the North Pole and asking which way is north. You can walk in any direction you like, but there is no more north to find. You have reached the place where that question quietly runs out. Now, I know that idea can feel slippery, like trying to hold water in your open hands, so let us slow down and turn it over once more, in slightly different words, because turning ideas over slowly is how they finally settle into the mind. Imagine you are watching a film of the entire universe, and you are running that film backward. The galaxies, which are normally racing apart, now rush toward each other. Everything grows hotter and denser and brighter. The film runs back through the birth of stars, back through the first glowing fog of the early cosmos, back and back until everything that exists is squeezed into a space smaller than you can picture, hotter than anything that has ever been. And then the film reaches its very first frame. And here is the strange and beautiful part. There is no frame before the first frame. The film simply begins. And the question, what was playing before the first frame, may be a question the film itself cannot contain. Let that settle for a moment. You don't need to fully grasp it. You only need to let it drift past, like a cloud crossing the moon. The mystery is not a wall you have to break through tonight. It is more like a deep, dark lake you are floating on, and you can simply rest on its surface, trusting that it will hold you. Many of the most brilliant people who have ever lived have floated on this very same lake, asking these very same questions, and they too eventually had to let the gentle uncertainty carry them. You are in good and quiet company here. Let us return for comfort to something concrete, because after a vast idea, the mind likes to land softly on something simple and small. Think of a single candle, flame in a dark room. It flickers, it gives warmth and light. and it has a clear beginning, the moment it was lit, and it will have a clear end, the moment it goes out. We are very comfortable with beginnings and endings like this because everything in our daily lives has them. The day begins and ends. A song begins and ends. A breath begins and ends. So it feels natural to assume that the universe, too, must have a beginning that was preceded by something, the way the candle flame was preceded. By an unlit candle, a match, a hand that struck it. We expect a before. The human mind is built to expect a before, but the universe may not play by the rules of candles, and this is where the story becomes truly fascinating, in the gentlest possible way. Some of the people who think most carefully about these questions have suggested that asking what came before the Big Bang might be like asking what is south of the South Pole. It is not that the answer is being kept secret from us. It is that the question gently dissolves when you look at it closely, the way a dream dissolves when you try to remember every detail of it in the morning. And there is something deeply restful in that, isn't there? The idea that not every question needs an answer, that some mysteries are meant simply to be held, lightly in the dark, without being solved. Still, the human heart is curious, and curiosity does not switch off just because a question is hard. So, thinkers have not stopped at the South Pole. They have wondered whether there might be other ways to imagine the beginning, ways that do allow for a before, even if that before is unlike anything we know. And these ideas are some of the most wonderful and strange and soothing ideas that have ever been dreamed up, because they stretch the mind so far that it relaxes, the way a body relaxes after a long, slow stretch at the end of a tiring day. Tonight, we are going to wander gently among a few of these ideas, not to decide which one is true, but simply to let them wash over us like waves on a quiet shore. Consider first the idea that the universe might breathe. Imagine your own breathing right now, the slow rise and fall of your chest, in and out, expanding and contracting. Some thinkers have wondered whether the universe itself might do something like this on an unimaginably vast scale. Perhaps it expands, as it is doing now, for an enormous stretch of time, and then, very slowly, over spans so long they make a human lifetime look like the blink of an eye. It begins to contract again, drawing everything back together until it is small and hot and dense once more. And then, perhaps, it bounces, and a new expansion begins. A new universe, or the same one reborn. In this picture, the Big Bang was not the first beginning at all, but simply the most recent breath in a cycle that has been breathing in and out forever. Isn't that a soft and lovely thought to rest on? That instead of a single sharp beginning, there might be an endless, gentle rhythm, a cosmic breathing in and breathing out, with no true start and no true end. In this picture, what came before our Big Bang was simply the previous breath, the slow collapse of an earlier universe folding itself down into the seed of ours. And before that, another. And before that, another still, stretching back through an eternity of breaths, like the steady rise and fall of a sleeper's chest in a dark and quiet room. Perhaps the universe in this dream has always been falling asleep and waking again, falling asleep and waking again, forever. We do not know if this is true. I want to be honest with you, here in the dark, because honesty is itself a kind of comfort. The breathing universe is one possible song among many, and the evidence we have gathered so far does not clearly tell us whether the universe will ever stop expanding and begin to contract. In fact, what we observe right now suggests the opposite, that the expansion is speeding up, not slowing down. But the idea of a breathing cosmos remains beautiful to hold, and there are versions of it that are still very much alive in the minds of those who study these things. And even if it is only a dream, it is a restful dream, the kind of dream that loosens the shoulders and softens the breath. Let us pause again and breathe again, slowly, and notice how the question keeps returning in slightly different clothing. What came before the beginning? Was there a before at all? Is time a river with a source, or a circle with no source, or a single point where the river simply begins out of nothing? Each time we ask, the words shift a little, and that is on purpose, because a question this large is not something you understand all at once. It is something you circle, the way you might circle a great old tree in the dark, running your hand along its bark, getting to know its shape slowly, from many sides, until it becomes familiar, even though you cannot see all of it at once. Now here is another picture, gentler still, for you to hold loosely as you drift. Some thinkers have imagined that time, near the very beginning, did not behave like a sharp line at all. Instead, they suggest, time may have curved and softened as you trace it back toward the beginning, the way the lines of longitude on a globe, which run so straight near the equator, all curve and gather and finally meet at the pole. In this picture, time near the Big Bang did not come to a sudden edge, like the edge of a cliff. Instead, it smoothly rounded off, like the smooth curve of the bottom of a bowl. There was no first moment with a jagged edge, no doorway with a clearly marked before and after. The beginning was rounded, seamless, gentle, the way the bottom of a valley curves so softly that you cannot point to the exact lowest spot. Picture that with me. You are walking down into a wide, shallow valley in the dark. The slope is so gentle that you can hardly tell where the descent ends and the flat bottom begins. There is no sudden step, no cliff, no clear line. The land simply curves and curves until, without any sharp moment, you are at the lowest place. In this way of thinking, the beginning of the universe might be like that, not a hard edge where something started, but a soft rounding where the very idea of earlier gently fades away. And so asking what came before becomes like asking what is below the bottom of the valley. You have already reached the bottom. There is no further down to go. And there is a deep peace in that, in the idea of a beginning with no harsh edge, a beginning that simply curves into being. Take another slow breath. Let your body grow a little heavier against whatever is holding you, the bed, the pillow, the soft dark itself. You may notice that as we circle these ideas, you are not being asked to do anything difficult. You are only being asked to wonder, and wonder is one of the most restful things a mind can do. It asks for no effort, no decision, no conclusion. It only asks that you remain gently open, like a window left ajar on a warm night, letting the soft air drift in and out. So let the ideas drift in and out. The breathing universe, the rounded beginning, the river of time with no source. None of them needs to be grasped tightly. Let them pass through you like a slow breeze. There is something worth noticing about all of these pictures, something that ties them together like a single, quiet thread. In every one of them, the harder you press on the idea of a beginning, the more the beginning seems to dissolve into something softer, something stranger, something that does not behave like the beginnings we know from everyday life. The lit candle, the opened book, the first note of a song. These have clean beginnings because they happen inside a world that already exists, inside time that is already flowing. But the beginning of everything is different, because there is no already there for it to begin inside of. And that difference is the whole heart of the mystery, the gentle, bottomless center of the question we are circling tonight. Let us bring it back down to something close and warm again, because the mind, drifting towards sleep, likes to rest its hand on something it knows. Think about the moment just before you fall asleep at night. There is a strange, soft border there, isn't there? A place where you are still a little awake, still thinking small, wandering thoughts, and then, without any clear line, without any sharp moment you could point to, you are asleep. You never catch the exact instant. You never feel the precise frame where waking ends and sleeping begins. It is rounded, seamless, gentle, like the bottom of that valley, and in the morning, you cannot say when it happened. The beginning of your sleep, like the beginning of the universe, has no hard edge that you can find. Hold that thought as a kind of companion tonight, because it is a small, near version of the very large, far question we are exploring. Just as you cannot find the precise moment you fall asleep, perhaps the universe cannot find, within itself, the precise moment it began. The beginning is real, and yet it has no sharp edge. It simply is. The way your sleep, when it comes, simply is, without a starting gun, without a doorway, without a before that you could ever point to and name. And yet, even as we rest in that softness, the curious part of the mind, the part that is still faintly awake, keeps whispering its question. But surely something must have been there. Surely there cannot truly be nothing, and then everything. Surely there must be a deeper story. This whisper is very old. It has been whispered by every thoughtful person who has ever lived, around every fire, under every sky, in every language that has ever been spoken. Where did it all come from? And tonight you are simply the latest in an enormous, gentle line of people lying in the dark, asking the oldest question there is, and letting the not-knowing rock you slowly toward rest. So let us follow that whisper just a little further, slowly, without urgency, because the whisper has led to some truly beautiful ideas, and we have all the soft hours of the night to wander through them. One of these ideas begins with a surprising discovery about emptiness itself. You might think that empty space, true nothingness, would be perfectly still, perfectly quiet, perfectly empty. But when those who study the very small look closely at what they call empty space, they find something astonishing. Even the emptiest emptiness is not truly empty. It hums, it shimmers, it is alive with the faintest, tiniest flickers, like the surface of a pond on a still night that looks perfectly calm from a distance, but up close is always trembling with the smallest ripples. This is one of the strangest and softest discoveries we have ever made, and I want to give it to you gently, like setting a smooth stone into your open palm. At the smallest scales, the scales far tinier than an atom, far tinier than anything your eyes could ever hope to see, the universe is never perfectly still. There is always a faint, restless trembling, a quiet fizz of energy appearing and disappearing, like bubbles forming and popping on the surface of a glass of sparkling water that you have left sitting on the table. Nothing is ever truly at rest. Even the deepest emptiness is gently, endlessly humming to itself in the dark. And some thinkers have wondered very softly whether the entire universe might have begun as one of these tiny tremblings, a single flicker in the emptiness, a single bubble in the dark that, for reasons we do not fully understand, did not pop and vanish like the others, but instead grew and grew and kept on growing, blooming outward into all the space and all the time and all the stars and all the worlds that have ever existed, including the small warm world where you are lying right now, listening to this voice, drifting slowly down toward sleep. Imagine that. Everything you have ever known, everyone you have ever loved, every sunrise and every ocean and every quiet night like this one, all of it unfolding from a single trembling bubble in the endless dark. It is almost too large to feel, isn't it? And so the mind kindly lets it blur. You do not need to feel the whole weight of it. You only need to let it rest beside you, like a large, calm animal lying down in the grass next to where you lie, breathing slowly, asking nothing of you. The universe blooming from a single flicker. It is a thought too big to hold, and so you simply set it down in the dark and let it keep you gentle company. And as you do, the question we began with returns once more, softened and worn smooth by all our circling. What came before that first trembling bubble? What was the emptiness humming to before there was anything to hum about? And here, just here, as we lean in toward that deepest part of the question, something interesting happens. Something we will follow slowly into the deeper dark together. For if the universe could begin as a flicker in the emptiness, then perhaps that emptiness, that humming, trembling, restless nothing, was itself the before we have been searching for all along. Perhaps the before was not a time at all, but a kind of quiet, fertile dark, endlessly trembling with the possibility of universes, the way a still winter field, silent and bare under the snow, is, secretly full of seeds that have not yet begun to grow. And if that is so, then the question changes shape once again in our hands, and becomes softer and stranger, and we begin to wonder not what came before the beginning, but whether beginning was ever really the right word at all, and what it might mean for a thing to come not from a moment, but from a kind of patient, waiting silence that was always quietly already there. Let us stay here a while, in this gentle field of waiting silence, because it is such a soft place to rest, and there is no need to leave it quickly. Think again of that still winter field under the snow. To anyone walking past, it looks like nothing at all. Bare, white, motionless, empty. And yet, beneath that calm surface, the field is not truly empty. It is full of sleeping seeds, full of roots resting in the cold earth, full of the quiet promise of every flower and every blade of grass that will rise when the warmth returns. The emptiness is only an appearance. Underneath, the field is patient and full and waiting. And perhaps the great emptiness before our universe was a little like that. Not a barren nothing, but a deep, dark, fertile quiet, humming softly with the possibility of everything. Have you ever noticed how the word nothing seems to slip away the moment you try to hold it? Try, just for a moment, to picture true nothing. Not a dark room, because a dark room still has walls and air and space. Not the empty sky, because the sky still has distance and depth. Try to picture no space, no time, no light, no dark, no here, no there, not even the emptiness itself. You will find that you cannot do it. The mind simply cannot draw a picture of true nothing, because every picture is something. And there is a strange comfort in discovering that. A comfort in finding the gentle edge of what the mind can do, and resting there, the way you might rest your hand against a cool wall in the dark and feel, with relief, that you have found the edge of the room. This is one of the oldest puzzles that thoughtful people have ever wrestled with, and tonight you can wrestle with it in the softest possible way, which is to say, not by wrestling at all, but by simply letting it float. Why is there something rather than nothing? Why is there a universe at all, full of stars and seas and sleeping creatures instead of just a vast, silent absence of everything? You do not have to answer this. No one ever has, not fully, but there is a deep and quiet pleasure in simply asking it. in lying here in the dark and letting the question rise up into the night like a slow breath, and then letting it go. And notice, as you let it go, how the question loops back once more to where we began, beneath the open night sky, lying in the cool grass, looking up at the ancient light of the stars. All of this, the stars, the grass, the cool air, your own slow breathing, all of it came from somewhere, or perhaps from no when and nowhere at all. All of it unfolded somehow, from that first trembling, that first soft flicker in the patient dark. And the fact that you exist at all, the fact that there is a you here to wonder about any of this, is itself the most astonishing part of the whole story, and the most quietly comforting. Let us slow down even further now, because we are sinking deeper, and the deeper we go, the slower we should move. Consider how rare and strange it is that anything exists at all. The simplest, easiest, most natural state of affairs, you might think, would be for there to be nothing whatsoever. No universe, no light, no time, no one to notice the absence. That would require no explanation. That would be the quiet default. And yet, here we are. Here is a universe, vast beyond measure, filled with more stars than there are grains of sand on every beach of every shore on Earth. And here, on one small world, circling one ordinary star, in one ordinary corner of one ordinary galaxy, among hundreds of billions, here you are, awake enough to wonder why any of it is here at all. That thought can feel dizzying if you grip it too tightly, so let us hold it loosely, the way you would hold a sleeping bird, gently enough not to wake it. You are a small, warm, breathing part of a universe that did not have to exist, and yet does. And whatever came before the beginning, whether a breathing cycle of universes or a softly rounded edge of time, or a patient, humming emptiness full of sleeping. Possibility. The simple, astonishing fact remains that the beginning happened and led, across unthinkable spans of time, to this very moment, to you, lying here in the dark, listening, growing heavier, growing calmer, drifting slowly toward rest. Let us return once more to time itself, because time is the gentle thread that runs through everything we are exploring, and it deserves to be turned over once again in slightly different words. You have lived your whole life inside the flow of time, carried along by it, never once stepping outside of it, never once pausing it, never once seeing it from the outside the way you might see a river from a high hill. Time is the water you swim in, and like a fish that has never known anything but water, you have never known anything but the steady forward flow of moments. This is why the idea of a beginning to time feels so strange. It is like asking a fish to imagine the edge of the water, the place where the river simply stops being a river. And yet, our best understanding tells us that time may indeed have an edge, or rather, not a sharp edge, but a soft rounding, like the smooth curve at the bottom of the bowl, like the gentle slope into the bottom of the valley, like the seamless blur of the moment you fall asleep. Time, in this view, is not eternal in the way we once imagined. It did not stretch back forever into an infinite past. It began gently, softly, without a doorway and without a before, at the moment we call the Big Bang. And asking what came before is, once more, like asking what is north of the North Pole, or south of the South Pole, or below the very bottom of the valley. The question is real, and yet it gently dissolves the closer you look at it. But, and here, the curious whisper rises again, ever so faintly. There are those who are not satisfied with the river having no source. There are those who wonder whether time, like space, might be far larger and far stranger than the small stretch of it we can see. Perhaps the time we know, the time that began at our Big Bang, is only one small river among countless others, one thread of time among an unimaginable weave of threads. Perhaps our universe is not the only one. Perhaps it is one bubble among countless bubbles, one breath among countless breaths, one flicker among countless flickers in an emptiness far vaster and far older than the small bright corner we call our own. Let that idea expand slowly in your mind, like ink spreading softly through water with no sharp edges, only a gentle blooming outward. Countless universes. The thought is almost too large to feel, and so kindly, the mind lets it blur into a soft glow rather than a sharp picture. Imagine an endless dark ocean, and rising through that ocean, here and there, everywhere and nowhere, countless tiny bubbles, each one a universe, each one with its own beginning, its own stars, its own slow unfolding of time, its own quiet creatures lying in their own dark fields, looking up at their own ancient skies, asking their own gentle versions of the very same question you are asking now. What came before? Where did it all begin? You are not alone in your wondering, even if those others, if they exist at all, are forever beyond our reach, separated from us by oceans of space and time we could never cross. There is a soft companionship in that thought, a sense that the question you are holding tonight may be the oldest and most universal question there is.
Liftoff of the Delta
again
rocket
and
carrying
again,
blast,
in
a
countless
gamma-ray
places,
telescope searching
across
for
countless
unseen physics
beginnings,
in the stars
by
of the
countless
galaxy.
quiet minds lying in countless dark fields beneath countless ancient skies. The question is bigger than any one universe. Perhaps the question is woven into the very fabric of existing at all. Breathe slowly now, and let the ocean of bubbles fade gently back into a single, simple image. The one we started with. The one that is small and warm and close. You, lying beneath the stars, in
T-minus 10,
the cool
9,
grass,
8,
in the soft,
7,
dark,
6,
with
5,
nowhere to be, and nothing to
3,
solve. All these vast
1,
ideas,
0,
the breathing universe,
liftoff
the rounded
of
edge
Space
time,
Shuttle Atlantis,
the humming
on a mission to
emptiness,
build,
the ocean of
resupply,
countless
and to do
bubbles,
research
all
on
of
the
them began
International
right
Space
here,
Station.
with you looking up at the night
Houston
sky,
now controlling.
feeling
Atlantis
that
begins its
quiet
penultimate
tug of
journey to
wonder
shore up the
in your
International
chest.
Space Station.
And all of them can be set down now,
Atlantis
one
now
by
in the proper
one,
alignment for
like
its
smooth
8.5-minute ride to
stones
orbit,
laid
4.5
gently in a
million
row,
pounds of hardware
while you
and
keep
humans
only
taking
the
aim on the
feeling,
International
the
Outpost.
soft, drifting feeling of being a small and welcome part of something.
30 seconds into the
Unthinkably
flight,
large and
Atlantis almost 2 miles in
unthinkably old.
altitude, almost
There
6
is
miles
one more
downrange from the
idea
Kennedy
I
Space
want
Center
to
already,
begin to
traveling
share
500
with you
miles an
tonight,
hour.
and it is perhaps the gentlest of them all.
The 3 liquid
Though
fuel main
we will
engines now
only just
throttling back
begin
to
to unfold it
72% of
before
rated
we let
performance,
the
going
night
into the
carry
bucket,
us
reducing the
further.
stress on the
It
shuttle as
has
it
to
breaks
do
through the
with the
sound barrier.
strange relationship between the very large and the very small, between the universe at its grandest scale and the tiniest flickers within it. For a long time, those who studied the cosmos and those who studied the smallest pieces of matter were exploring what seemed like two completely separate worlds. The world of stars and galaxies, immense and slow and majestic, and the world of the very small, the flickering, trembling, restless world far beneath the reach of any eye. Two worlds, it seemed, with two different sets of rules. But the closer we look at the beginning of everything, the more these two worlds seem to fold into one. Because at the very start, when the entire universe was squeezed into a space smaller than the smallest thing you could ever imagine, the very large and the very small were not separate at all. The whole vast cosmos was, for a single soft instant, smaller than a single trembling flicker in the dark. The galaxies that would one day spread across billions of light years were, in that first gentle moment, packed into something tinier than a grain of dust, tinier than a speck, tinier than anything. And so, to understand the beginning, you must somehow understand both the largest thing there is and the smallest thing there is at the very same time. Because at the beginning, they were the same thing. And this is where the story grows truly deep and truly soft, and where we will let it carry us onward into the night. For the rules that govern the very small are strange and dreamlike, far stranger than the steady, predictable rules that govern the world you move through every day. In the world of the very small, things can be in many places at once. Things can flicker into being and out of being. Certainty itself becomes soft and blurry, more like a gentle range of maybes than a single hard fact. And if the entire universe began as something unimaginably small, then the entire universe began inside this dreamlike world. This world of soft maybes and gentle flickers. This world where the firm line between something and nothing grows thin and blurred and faint. The way the line between waking and sleeping grows thin and blurred and faint as you lie here now, listening, and the way the beginning of everything may have emerged, not from a clear and certain before, but from a soft and trembling realm of maybe, where the universe was perhaps half there and half not, hovering gently on the edge of being, the way a thought hovers gently on the edge of a dream just before it fully arrives. Let us rest there for just a moment, on that soft edge, before we go on. A thought hovering on the edge of a dream. A universe hovering on the edge of being. There is a deep kinship between these two things, between the way your own mind is slowly loosening its grip tonight and the way the cosmos may have loosened itself into existence at the very beginning. You are, in this quiet hour, doing in miniature what perhaps the whole universe once did. You are drifting from a state of clear, awake certainty into something softer, something blurrier, something far more open and far more gentle. A realm where the firm edges of things relax and dissolve, where what is and what is not begin to blur together like the colors of the sky just after sunset, neither fully day nor fully night, but a soft and welcoming in-between. And so the question we began with, the question of what came before the beginning, has slowly transformed in our hands over this long, quiet hour, the way a stone transforms when you turn it over and over in the dark and learn its every smooth and gentle surface. We began by imagining a clear before, the way an unlit candle comes before its flame, and step by step, idea by idea, the clear before has softened into something far stranger and far more peaceful, a breathing rhythm with no true start, a rounded edge where earlier gently fades away, a patient, humming emptiness full of sleeping possibility, an ocean of countless bubbles, a dreamlike realm of soft maybes, where something and nothing blur together at the very edge of being. None of these is a final answer. All of them are ways of holding the mystery gently, of carrying the question into sleep instead of fighting to solve it. Take one more slow breath now and feel how much heavier and calmer your body has grown since we first lay down together beneath the stars. We have wandered very far tonight, all the way back to the beginning of everything, and yet we have moved so slowly and so softly that it has felt less like a journey and more like a long, slow settling, a sinking down into the deep, dark, fertile quiet that may itself be the closest thing there is to the before we have been seeking. And there is still so much further we can drift, so many more gentle ways of turning this ancient question over in the dark, so many more soft images to rest our minds upon as the night deepens around us. So let us not stop here. Let us keep drifting, slowly, the way the galaxies drift apart, the way the dough rises, the way the sleeper sinks deeper with every passing breath, on toward the place where time grows thin, and the very idea of beginning begins, ever so gently, to come undone in our hands, like a knot loosening, like a held breath finally, slowly, beginning to release preciso, expandir a parte 2 para atingir o intervalo obrigatório. A parte 2 está dentro do intervalo, 36.455 caracteres. Vou entregá-la. Like a held breath finally, slowly, beginning to release. And as that breath releases, let us drift on, even more slowly now, into the place where time grows thin. Because this is where the story becomes truly gentle and truly strange, and where you can let your mind loosen its last few grips on the day and simply float along with the words. We left off wondering about the strange, dreamlike world of the very small, the world where things flicker into being and out of being, the world where certainty softens into a gentle range of maybes. And we wondered whether the entire universe might have begun inside that dreamlike world, hovering half there and half not at the very edge of being. So let us sit with that for a while, turning it over slowly, the way you might turn a warm cup of tea in your hands on a cold night, not drinking it yet, just feeling its warmth, letting it settle you. In the world you move through every day, things are reliably solid. A chair is a chair. A stone is a stone. When you set your keys on the table, they stay on the table. They do not flicker out of existence and reappear across the room. They do not exist in many places at once. The world of ordinary things is dependable, steady, predictable, and this. Dependability is part of what makes the world feel safe and known. But when you shrink your attention down, smaller and smaller, far smaller than a grain of dust, far smaller than a single speck, down to the tiniest pieces of matter there are, that dependable solidity begins to melt away, and something far softer and far stranger takes its place. Down there, in the realm of the very small, the tiniest pieces of the world do not behave like keys on a table. They behave more like ripples on a pond, or like the shimmer of light on water, spread out and blurry, more like possibilities than like things. A single tiny piece of matter does not sit in one clear spot. Instead, it exists as a kind of gentle cloud of maybe, a soft smear of here and there and everywhere, until the moment someone looks. And only when it is looked at does the cloud settle, softly, into a single place. Before that, it is not quite anywhere at all. It is a hum of possibility, a whisper of where it might be, drifting in the dark. Let me give you a familiar picture for this because it is such a strange idea that it needs a soft, everyday hand to hold it. Imagine you are lying in bed, half asleep, and you hear a sound somewhere in the house, a small creak, a faint settling. In that drowsy moment, before you are fully awake, the sound could be anything. It could be the house cooling in the night. It could be a pet moving in another room. It could be the wind. It could be nothing at all. The sound exists in your half-sleeping mind as a soft cloud of possibilities, all of them faintly present at once. And only if you fully wake and go to look does the cloud collapse into a single, definite answer. The tiniest pieces of the world live, in a sense, in that drowsy, half-asleep state all the time, as clouds of maybe that only settle when observed. There is something deeply soothing about that, isn't there? The idea that at the very smallest scale the universe is not hard and fixed and rigid, but soft and blurry and full of gentle possibility. The world we know feels so solid, so unchangeable, so heavy with rules, but underneath it all, woven into its deepest fabric, is this dreamy softness, this shimmer of maybe, this quiet refusal to be pinned down. And if the entire universe was once squeezed down into something that small, then the entire universe was once that soft, that blurry, that full of gentle drifting possibility. Now, why does any of this matter for our question? The question of what came before the beginning. It matters because of a strange and wonderful consequence of this dreamy softness. In the world of the very small, things can appear out of seemingly empty space, not from nothing in the deepest sense, but from that humming, trembling emptiness we spoke of before, the emptiness that is never truly empty. Tiny flickers of energy can bubble up out of the quiet, exist for the briefest flash, and then sink back down again, like bubbles rising and popping on the surface of a still, dark pond. The emptiness is restless. It is always gently fizzing with these brief appearances and disappearances, far too small and far too quick for any eye to ever see. And so some thinkers have wondered, very softly, whether our entire universe might have been one of these flickers, one of these bubbles rising out of the restless quiet, except that instead of popping and sinking back down, it caught somehow and held and grew, a bubble that did not vanish, a flicker that did not fade. Imagine the gentlest possible beginning, not a violent explosion shattering a silence, but a soft welling up, a quiet blooming, a single bubble among countless bubbles that simply happened to keep rising and rising and rising until it became everything. There is a tenderness in that image, a softness that feels very far from the loud and frightening word, Big Bang. Let us pause here and breathe slowly, and let that picture rest in the dark beside you. A bubble that did not pop, a flicker that did not fade, everything you know, the whole vast cosmos, blooming softly out of a trembling quiet, like a single drop of dew gathering, slowly, on a blade of grass in the cool of the early morning, growing rounder and fuller until it holds, within its small and perfect curve, the entire reflection of the sky, the universe as a drop of dew, the universe as a bubble that held. These are soft images for a soft and bottomless mystery, and you can rest among them, here, in the deepening dark. And yet, as gentle as that picture is, it leaves us with a quiet puzzle, the kind of puzzle you can turn over slowly without ever needing to solve it. If the universe bubbled up out of the restless emptiness, then where did the restless emptiness come from? If our universe is a flicker in a deeper dark, then what is that deeper dark? And how long has it been trembling there? And was there ever a time when even it did not exist? You see how the question simply moves like a shadow, always staying just ahead of us, always one step further into the dark. We answer, where did the universe come from with the trembling emptiness? And then the very same question rises again about the emptiness itself. Where did that come from? And so on, like a hall of soft mirrors reflecting into the distance. This is one of the oldest and deepest patterns in all of human thinking, and there is a strange comfort in recognizing it, in seeing how it has echoed down through the ages. Whenever we try to explain where everything came from, we explain it in terms of something else, and then we have to ask where that something else came from. A child asks where the rain comes from, and we say the clouds. And the child asks where the clouds come from, and we say the sea, lifted up by the warmth of the sun. And the child asks where the sea came from, and where the sun came from, and on, each answer opening a new question, like a series of doors, each one leading to another door beyond it. The question of the beginning is the very last door, the deepest door, the one that may open onto something we have no words for at all. Have you ever wondered what it would mean for there to be a final door, a last answer, a place where the questions finally stop? Think about what that would actually require. It would require something that did not itself come from anything else, something that simply is, without a before, without a cause, without a deeper daughter behind it. And that is such a strange idea that the mind can hardly hold it. A thing that did not come from anything. A thing that simply always was. And yet, when you trace the questions back, all the way back, you seem to arrive at exactly this kind of thing. Whether you call it the trembling emptiness, or the breathing cycle of universes, or the rounded edge of time, or simply the unanswerable mystery at the bottom of it all. At the very end of all the doors, there seems to be a door that does not open onto another door. And perhaps that is not a failure of our understanding. Perhaps that is simply the shape of the deepest truth there is. Let us soften again and come back to something near and warm, because we have wandered out very far, and the mind likes to return now and then to the small and the simple, the way a hand returns to rest on a familiar surface in the dark. Think of how a story works. Every story has a beginning, a once upon a time. And when you are a child, hearing a story, you never ask what came before once upon a time. You simply accept that the story begins where it begins, and you let yourself fall into it. The beginning of the story is not preceded by anything within the story. It is simply the edge, the gentle frame, the place where the telling starts. And perhaps the beginning of the universe is a little like the beginning of a story, not preceded by anything within itself, simply the soft edge where the telling of everything began. That image can rest you, I think. The universe is a story that simply begins, the way all stories simply begin, with no need to ask what came before the first word. And here you are, lying in the dark, a small character in the very middle of that enormous story, in a chapter so far from the beginning that the beginning is almost unimaginably distant, and yet still somehow connected to you, still somehow part of the same unbroken telling that started with that first soft word, that first gentle flicker, that first quiet welling up out of the trembling dark. Now, let us turn, slowly, to one of the most beautiful ideas of all, an idea that takes the strange softness of the very small and stretches it across the entire cosmos. We said before that, at the beginning, when the whole universe was squeezed into something tinier than a speck, the very large and the very small were one and the same. And we said that the very small lives in a dreamy world of soft maybes and gentle blurriness. So, put those two thoughts together, slowly, the way you might fit two halves of a shell back together in your palm. If the entire universe began as something that small, then the entire universe began in that dreamy, blurry, soft maybe state. The whole cosmos, at its very first moment, was a gentle cloud of possibility, not yet settled, not yet definite, not yet fully real in the way a stone or a chair is real. The universe at the beginning was a kind of dream of itself, hovering softly on the edge of being. Sit with that for a moment. The universe as a dream of itself, not a solid, finished thing that suddenly appeared, but a soft, blurry possibility that slowly, gently settled into being, the way a dream slowly settles into a memory in the first quiet moments after you wake. There was no hard, sharp instant of creation, no sudden snap of something out of nothing. There was a soft welling up, a gradual settling, a quiet drift from maybe into is. And this is so very much like the way you yourself drift each night from the soft maybes of waking thought into the settled stillness of sleep, that you can almost feel the kinship in your own slowing breath, in your own loosening shoulders, in the gentle blurring of your own thoughts as they let go of the day. Have you ever wondered whether the way you fall asleep might be a tiny echo of the way the universe came to be? It is only a poetic thought, a gentle thread to hold, not a hard fact to defend. But there is something lovely in it. Each night, you move from the clear, sharp, definite world of waking, where everything has its place and its edges, into the soft, blurry, drifting world of sleep, where thoughts melt into one another and the firm lines of things dissolve. And perhaps the universe at its beginning moved in the opposite direction, from a soft, blurry, drifting state of pure possibility into the clearer, more definite world we know. You are, in a sense, traveling the same path the universe traveled, only backward each and every night, drifting from the definite into the dreamy, from the sharp into the soft, from waking into the gentle dark. Let us breathe again, slowly, and let that thought drift away like smoke, because it has done its quiet work, and the mind does not need to hold it tightly. We are sinking deeper now, and the deeper we sink, the less we need to grasp. The ideas can come and go like the slow turning of the stars overhead, each one rising softly into view, lingering for a while, and then sinking gently below the horizon of your attention, replaced by the next, in an endless, unhurried procession through the long, dark night. Let us return once more to the great old question, but let us approach it now from a different and even gentler direction. We have asked what came before the beginning. We have wondered whether before even means anything there. We have imagined breathing universes and rounded edges of time and bubbles in a trembling dark and the soft, dreamy state of the very beginning. Now let us ask a quieter question, a question that sits beneath all the others, like the still water beneath the ripples on the surface of a pond. The question is this: why does the universe seem to follow rules at all? Why is it not pure chaos, pure noise, pure formless confusion? Why does it hang together so beautifully, so reliably, in a way that allows stars to form and worlds to gather, and slow, soft creatures like you to arise and lie in the dark and wonder about it all? This is a strange and wonderful thing to notice, and it is easy to overlook, because we are so used to it. The universe is orderly. It follows patterns. The same kinds of things happen in the same kinds of ways, over and over, all across the vast reaches of space and the long stretches of time. A stone dropped here falls, just as a stone dropped on the far side of the cosmos would fall. The light of a distant star obeys the very same gentle rules as the light of a candle on your table. There is a deep and quiet consistency woven through everything, a kind of steady music that plays the same way everywhere, and it is this consistency that allows the universe to build itself up into stars and worlds and living things, rather than dissolving into a meaningless blur. Where did that order come from? Was it there at the very beginning, woven into that first soft flicker, that first trembling bubble? Or did it settle in slowly, the way frost settles into delicate patterns, on a cold window in the night, each tiny crystal finding its place according to some quiet, underlying rule? We do not fully know, but there is something deeply restful in simply noticing the order, in lying here and feeling held by it. The same gentle rules that shaped the first stars are shaping the slow rise and fall of your breath right now. You are not separate from the order of the cosmos. You are made of it. You are a small, warm, breathing expression of the very same patterns that hold the galaxies together in the dark. Consider for a moment what that means. The atoms in your body, the tiny pieces that make up your hands, your heart, the slow lungs that rise and fall as you drift towards sleep, those atoms were not made on Earth. They were made long ago, in the hearts of ancient stars, stars that lived and died billions of years before the Earth even existed. When those stars reached the end of their long lives, they scattered their atoms out into the dark, and those atoms drifted through space for ages upon ages, and eventually some of them gathered together to form the sun, and the earth, and the oceans, and in time, you. You are, quite literally, made of the dust of dead stars. The same dust that drifts in the great clouds between the stars is the dust that became your bones, your blood, your wandering mind. Let that settle slowly into the dark beside you. You are made of star stuff, the carbon in the cells of your body, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones. All of it was forged in the fiery hearts of stars that have long since died, and so when you look up at the night sky and feel that quiet tug of wonder, you are, in a sense, looking back at your own distant origin. You are the universe, looking at itself. You are a small part of the cosmos that has become aware enough to gaze back out at the rest of it, and to ask softly, in the dark, where it all came from. There is a deep and gentle wonder in that, the kind of wonder that does not excite the heart but soothes it, the kind of wonder that makes you feel, all at once, very small and very much at home. Breathe slowly and rest in that feeling of being at home in the cosmos. You are not a stranger here. You are not an accident dropped into an alien place. You are made of the same stuff as the stars, woven from the same patterns, born from the same long and gentle unfolding that began with that first soft flicker in the trembling dark. The universe is not something out there, separate from you. It is something you are part of, something you are made of, something that, through you, has become quietly aware of its own astonishing existence. And that, perhaps, is one of the most comforting thoughts there is to carry into sleep. You belong here. You have always belonged here. You are the cosmos, resting. Now, having wandered out to the stars and back, let us slow our pace even further and return gently to the deepest layer of our question. We have been circling the idea that the beginning of everything may have no before, or that its before may be a kind of soft, trembling, fertile dark. But there is yet another way that thoughtful people have tried to soften the strangeness of the beginning, and it is perhaps the most peaceful way of all. It is the idea that the question what came before is simply the wrong question, the way some questions are gently, quietly the wrong shape for the answer they seek. Think of it like this. Imagine someone asks you, "What is the loudest color?" You would pause, wouldn't you? Not because you do not know, but because the question itself does not quite fit together. Colors are not loud or quiet. Loudness belongs to sounds, not to colors. The question mixes up two things that do not belong together, and so it gently dissolves, not into a wrong answer, but into a soft recognition that it was never quite the right question to ask. And some thinkers wonder whether what came before the beginning of time might be a question of just this kind. Before belongs to time. It is a word that only means something inside the flow of moments. And so asking what came before time may be a little like asking for the loudest color, a question that gently dissolves the moment you look at it closely, leaving behind not frustration, but a soft and spacious peace. There is such relief in that, isn't there? The relief of realizing that you do not have to answer a question that may not even be a question at all. the relief of letting a puzzle dissolve rather than forcing it to a solution. So much of the day is spent solving, deciding, answering, pushing through to conclusions. But here, in the dark, you are allowed to do something different. You are allowed to let a question simply soften and fade, like breath on a cold window, like a dream you do not try to remember, like the gentle blurring of your own thoughts as you sink, slowly, toward the soft and welcoming dark of sleep. And yet, even as one question dissolves, the wonder beneath it remains, and the wonder is the true heart of the matter. For whether or not before means anything, whether or not there was a deeper dark, whether or not the universe breathes or bubbles or simply begins like a story, the astonishing fact remains, soft and luminous, at the center of it all. There is something rather than nothing. There is a universe, vast and old and beautiful, and you are part of it, and you are here, and you are awake. Enough in this quiet moment to marvel at the sheer improbable wonder of being here at all. That wonder does not require an answer. It only requires that you feel it, gently, as you drift. Let us return, as we have returned before, and will return again, to the image we began with, because circling back is how a sleeping mind reorients itself, how it finds its way again if it has drifted off and surfaced briefly into the dark. You are lying in an open field, late at night, the cool grass beneath. You, the soft air around you, the vast and ancient sky stretched out above you from horizon to horizon. The stars are old, so very old, their light having traveled across unimaginable distances to reach your eyes in this single quiet moment. And every one of those stars, and the dark spaces between them, and the field, and the grass, and your own slow breathing, all of it traces back in one long, unbroken thread to that first soft beginning, that first gentle welling up out of the trembling, fertile dark. And here is the thought I would like you to carry now, as the night deepens and your mind grows heavier and softer. The beginning is not somewhere far away, sealed off from you behind an impenetrable wall. The beginning is in you. It is in every atom of your body, every one of which carries, in its very existence, the long story of the cosmos, all the way back to that first soft moment. You are not separated from the beginning by time. You are connected to it, woven into it, made from it. The beginning flows through you. Right now, in the rise and fall of your breath, in the slow beating of your heart, in the quiet wandering of your drifting mind, you are a living thread that reaches all the way back to the dawn of everything. Take a slow breath and feel that thread, that unbroken line that connects this quiet moment to the very beginning of all things. Feel how it runs through you, gentle and strong, like a current in a deep and peaceful river. You do not have to understand the beginning to be connected to it. You do not have to solve the mystery to be made of it. You only have to lie here, breathing softly, letting the wonder hold you, letting yourself sink a little deeper with each slow exhale.
Liftoff of
knowing
the
that you
Delta
are a part
rocket
of
carrying
something
glass,
unimaginably
a gamma ray
vast
telescope
and
searching for
unimaginably
unseen
old,
physics
and
in
that
the
you belong
stars
to
of the
it
galaxies.
completely. Now let us drift once more toward the strange and gentle idea of time, because we have not yet finished turning it over, and there is still so much softness left in it to explore. We said that time may have a beginning, a soft, rounded edge where earlier gently fades away. But let us ask now a quieter and stranger question. What is time, anyway? You feel it passing, moment by moment,
10, 9,
but if you try
8,
to hold it,
7,
to point to
6,
it, to say
5,
here's a piece of time, you find that you cannot. The past is gone.
0,
The
and
future has not
liftoff
yet come.
of Space Shuttle
And the
Atlantis
present
on the
The
mission
only
to
moment
build,
that is ever
resupply,
truly here
and to do
is so
research for
thin,
the International
so
Space
fleeting
Station.
that it vanishes
Houston now
the
controlling.
instant you
Atlantis
try to
begins its
grasp it.
penultimate journey to shore
Time
up the
slips
International
through your
Space
fingers
Station.
like water, always flowing,
Atlantis
never
now in the
holding
proper
still,
alignment for its 8.5-minute
impossible
ride to
to
orbit,
catch,
4.5
and yet
billion pounds
utterly
of
real,
hardware and humans taking
utterly
aim on the
present,
international
the
outpost.
very medium in which your whole life unfolds. Have you ever tried to
30
truly
seconds into the
notice
flight,
the present moment?
Atlantis almost
To
2
catch
miles
it,
in
to
altitude,
hold
almost
it,
6 miles
to be
downrange from
fully
the Kennedy
inside
Space Center
it.
already,
It is
traveling
one of the
500 miles an
strangest
hour.
things you can attempt, because the moment you notice the present,
The 3 liquid
it has
fuel main
already
engines now
become the
throttling back to
past,
72%
and a new
of rated
present
performance,
has
going
taken
into the
its
bucket,
place,
reducing the stress on the
and
shuttle as it breaks through
that
the
one
sound
too
barrier.
is already slipping away. The present is like the crest of a wave that is forever moving forward, never the same instant twice, and yet always, always now. And this strange, slippery, ever-moving present is the only place you have ever lived, or ever will live. You have never lived in the past. You have never lived in the future. You have only ever lived now, in this thin, bright, ever-renewing edge of the present moment, riding it forward through your whole life like a leaf carried, gently on the surface of a stream. There is something deeply peaceful in resting fully in the present, in letting go of the past and the future, and simply being here, now, in this single quiet moment in the dark. The day is over. Tomorrow has not yet come. There is only this, the soft dark, the gentle words, the slow rise and fall of your breath. You do not have to carry the past with you into sleep. You do not have to reach ahead into tomorrow. You can let both of them go and rest completely in the only moment that has ever truly existed, the gentle, ever-present now. And in this now, the whole vast story of the universe is somehow present too, woven into the very fabric of this moment. All 13 billion years of it gathered, quietly, into the single soft instant in which you are breathing, here, in the dark. And perhaps this is the gentlest way to approach the mystery of the beginning, not by reaching backward in time, trying to peer past the soft, rounded edge where earlier fades away, but by resting fully in the present, where the entire history of the cosmos is somehow gathered and present all at once. The beginning is not only behind you, in the distant past. In a strange and beautiful way, the beginning is here, now, in this moment, in you, in the atoms of your body, in the patterns of order that hold you together, in the very fact that there is a now at all for you to rest in. The beginning never really ended. It is still unfolding, gently, in every quiet moment, including this one, including the slow, soft breath you are taking right now as you sink a little deeper, and the night grows a little darker, and the words grow a little softer, and you find yourself drifting, slowly, toward the place where all questions finally dissolve into the gentle, welcoming dark, where there is no before and no after, no beginning and no end. Only the soft, eternal, ever-present quiet holding you, like the deep dark sea holds a single drop of dew, like the trembling emptiness held the first soft flicker of everything that ever was, gently, patiently, and without any need at all to understand anything at all. Let us rest there for a while, in that gentle place where there is no need to understand. We have wandered through so many ideas tonight, so many soft ways of holding the great old question, and the mind, by now, is growing pleasantly tired, the way a body grows pleasantly tired after a long, slow walk through quiet country. So let us not push forward to anything new and demanding. Let us instead circle back, slowly, over the soft ground we have already covered, the way you might walk again through a familiar garden in the dim light, noticing once more the shapes you already know, finding comfort in their gentle familiarity. Remember the raisin bread dough, rising slowly in the warm kitchen, every raisin drifting away from every other raisin as the space between them quietly grew. That was our first soft picture of the beginning, our gentle correction to the loud and frightening word, Big Bang. The universe did not explode into a room that was already there. The room itself grew, and everything within it was carried gently along. There was no center, no edge, no violent blast, only a soft and endless expanding, a quiet stretching of space itself, carrying the stars apart from one another the way the rising dough carries the raisins apart, slowly, gently, in every direction at once. And remember the candle flame, with its clear beginning and its clear end, and how it taught us that we are creatures who expect a before. Everything in our daily lives has a beginning that was preceded by something. The flame was preceded by the unlit candle, the match, the striking hand. The day was preceded by the night. The song was preceded by the silence before it. And so we naturally expect the universe too to have been preceded by something. But the universe may not play by the rules of candles. Its beginning may be different in kind, a beginning with no before, the way the first word of a story has no word before it, the way the bottom of the valley has nothing below it, the way the North Pole has no further north to reach. And remember the still winter field beneath the snow, looking empty and bare and lifeless, and yet secretly full of sleeping seeds, full of roots resting in the cold earth, full of the quiet promise of everything that would rise when the warmth returned. That was our picture of the trembling emptiness, the fertile dark, the patient quiet that may have held within it the soft possibility of universes long before any universe ever bloomed. The emptiness was never truly empty. It hummed, it shimmered, it waited, full and patient, like the field under the snow, like the seed in the dark soil, like the held breath just before it is gently released. Notice how these images return, slightly changed each time, like familiar faces glimpsed again in a slow and pleasant dream. The dough rising, the candle flame, the winter field, the bubble that did not pop, the drop of dew gathering on the blade of grass, the story that simply begins, the valley with no bottom below its bottom. Each one is a soft hand reaching toward the same bottomless mystery, and none of them grasps it fully, and that is exactly as it should be. The mystery is not meant to be grasped. It is meant to be held lightly, the way you hold a sleeping bird, the way you hold a warm cup of tea, the way the dark right now is gently holding you. Have you ever noticed how the most peaceful moments in life are often the ones where you stop trying to figure everything out? There is a particular kind of rest that comes only when you set down the need to know, the need to solve, the need to reach a final answer. It is the rest of lying back in the grass and simply watching the clouds drift by, with no goal, no destination, no problem to crack. It is the rest of floating on your back in calm water, letting it hold you, trusting it completely. And it is the rest that this great old question, the question of the beginning, can offer you if you let it, because it is a question that cannot be solved, and so it gently gives you permission to stop trying and simply float. So float now, here in the soft dark, on the calm surface of the deep and ancient question. You do not have to know what came before the beginning. No one does. No one ever has. The wisest and most thoughtful people who have ever lived have lain awake beneath these same stars, asking these same questions, and they too eventually had to let the not knowing rock them gently toward rest. You are in good company, the best and gentlest company. an enormous, quiet gathering of every curious soul who has ever wondered where it all came from, stretching back across all the generations, all of you lying in the dark, looking up, wondering, and slowly, softly, letting go. Let us turn the question once more, gently, toward something that has comforted thoughtful people for a very long time. It is the simple recognition that not knowing is not the same as being lost. You can rest in a mystery without being troubled by it. In fact, some of the deepest peace there is comes precisely from resting in a mystery, from standing at the edge of the unknown and feeling not fear, but wonder. A small child does not need to understand how the stars work in order to find them beautiful. A traveler does not need a map of the whole world in order to enjoy the path right in front of them. And you do not need to solve the riddle of the beginning in order to feel held by the vast, gentle, astonishing fact of existence itself. Consider how much of your own life unfolds within mysteries you do not need to solve. You do not understand exactly how your heart beats, and yet it beats, faithfully, all through the night, without your effort or attention. You do not understand exactly how you fall asleep, and yet you fall asleep every night, sinking gently from waking into the soft dark. You do not understand exactly how the food you eat becomes the energy that moves your hands, and yet it does, quietly, reliably, without your needing to manage it at all. Your whole life is woven through with mysteries that work perfectly well without your understanding, and the great mystery of the beginning is simply the largest and oldest of these, holding all the others within it, the way the night sky holds all the stars. There is such freedom in this, isn't there? The freedom of not having to carry the weight of every answer. The freedom of being allowed to simply live inside the mystery, breathing softly, wondering gently, without the burden of needing to explain it all. Tonight, you can set that burden down. You can let the great question be exactly what it is, a soft and bottomless wonder, and you can rest in it, completely, the way you rest in your own breathing, the way you rest in the dark, the way the universe itself, perhaps, rests in whatever gentle quiet held it before it bloomed. And as you rest, let the ideas drift through you one last time, slowly, like the final slow turning of the stars before dawn. The breathing universe, expanding and contracting, falling asleep and waking again, forever. The rounded edge of time, where earlier gently fades away with no sharp doorway, no harsh beginning, the trembling emptiness, the fertile dark, humming softly with the possibility of everything. The bubble that did not pop, blooming gently into all the worlds that ever were. The dreamy softness of the very small, where things hover half there and half not, like a thought on the edge of a dream. The question that gently dissolves, like asking for the loudest color, leaving behind only a soft and spacious peace. And beneath all of them, the simple, luminous wonder that there is something rather than nothing, and that you are part of it, here, now, breathing in the dark. Each of these is a small, soft light in the vast night of the unknown, and you do not have to choose among them. You can hold them all at once, loosely, the way the sky holds all its stars at once, each one shining in its own place, none of them crowding out the others. Together they form a kind of gentle constellation, a pattern of wonder spread across the dark, and you can lie beneath that constellation and let it watch over you as you sink, slowly, toward sleep, knowing that the not knowing is not a wall, but a wide and welcoming sky, and that you are free to rest beneath it for as long as you like. Take a slow breath now, slower than before, and let it out even more slowly, feeling your whole body grow heavier, softer, more at ease against whatever is holding you. We are nearing the deepest part of the night, the quietest part, where the words will grow softer still, and the ideas will grow gentler still, and there will be less and less for the mind to do, until at last there is nothing for it to do at all but rest. We are not there yet. There is still a little further to drift, a few more soft turnings of the great old question, a few more gentle images to lay down in the dark beside you. But we are close now, close to the place where everything quiets, close to the soft and welcoming dark where the question and the questioner gently dissolve together into peace. For now, simply rest in this thought and let it carry you onward into the deepening quiet, the beginning of everything. Whatever it was, whatever came before it or did not, was gentle. It was not a violent blast, but a soft welling up. It was not a harsh edge, but a rounded curve. It was not a frightening rupture, but a quiet blooming, like a flower opening in the dark, like a breath being slowly released, like a sleeper sinking softly into the first deep waters of sleep. And you, lying here now, are made of that same gentleness, woven from that same soft beginning, carried on that same slow and patient unfolding that has been quietly, tenderly continuing for all the long ages since. The universe began gently, and gently now it holds you as you drift slower and slower toward the soft and bottomless dark where all our wondering, at last, lies down to rest, and there is only the quiet and the breath and the warm and welcome feeling of belonging, completely, to something unimaginably vast and unimaginably old and unimaginably kind. A parte 3 precisa de expansão para atingir o intervalo de 35.000 e 38.000. Ainda preciso adicionar cerca de 9.000 caracteres. Vou inserir mais um bloco de reforço circular antes do encerramento final. Faltam cerca de 3.000 caracteres. Vou adicionar mais um parágrafo contemplativo. Quase lá. Faltam cerca de 200 caracteres para o mínimo. Vou estender levemente. A parte 3 está em 35.166 caracteres dentro do intervalo. Vou verificar o total geral e ler a parte final. Total de 107.739 caracteres dentro do intervalo obrigatório. Vou ler a parte 3 completa para entrega and unimaginably kind. Let those words settle over you now like a soft blanket drawn slowly up to your shoulders. Vast and old and kind. The universe that holds you is all of these things, and you do not need to do anything at all to deserve its holding. You only need to lie here and breathe, and let the night carry you the rest of the way down. We have come a very long way together tonight, you and I, drifting backward through time, all the way to the gentle edge where the beginning fades softly into mystery. And now, in this last and quietest part of our slow journey, we will not push onward into anything new or demanding. We will only circle, slowly, over the soft and familiar ground we have already walked, the way a tired traveler, near the end of a long day, slows their pace and lets their feet find the path almost on their own. There is nothing left to figure out. There is nothing left to solve. There is only the slow, warm settling into rest. So, let us breathe. Once more, together, slowly in and slowly out. And as you breathe, remember the very first image of our night, the open field beneath the vast and ancient sky. You are lying there still, in a sense, in the cool grass, under all those old stars, their light having crossed unimaginable distances to reach you in this single quiet moment. And you remember now that the light of those stars is a kind of memory, a message from the deep past, and that following that memory backward, far enough, leads to the oldest memory of all, the gentle beginning we have been circling all night long, the Big Bang. We softened that loud and frightening name very early on, didn't we? And it is worth softening once more, gently, as we drift down toward sleep. There was no bang. There was no explosion in an empty room. There was, instead, the quiet beginning of space itself, and of time itself, all at once, everywhere at once. The universe did not blow apart into a room that was already there. The room itself began to grow, like raisin bread dough rising slowly in a warm kitchen, every raisin drifting gently away from every other raisin, not because of any blast, but simply because the space between them was quietly, tenderly growing. That is the truest picture of the beginning, not a violence, but an expansion, not a shattering, but a soft and endless unfolding. And so, when we asked what came before that gentle beginning, we found that the question itself began to soften and blur in our hands. The way your own thoughts are softening and blurring now, here, in the deepening dark. We found that before is a word that belongs to time, a word that only means something inside the steady flow of moments. And if time itself began at the beginning, then asking what came before time may be like standing at the North Pole and asking which way is north. You may walk in any direction you like, but there is no more north to find. You have reached the place where the question quietly, peacefully runs out. Rest in that for a moment. The peace of a question that runs out. There is no failure in it, no defeat. It is simply the gentle edge of what can be asked, and finding that edge is a kind of arrival, a kind of homecoming. You have walked all the way to the place where the path ends, and instead of a locked door, you have found an open sky. And beneath that open sky, there is nothing more you need to do. You may simply lie down and look up and let the not knowing hold you, the way the dark is holding you now, soft and wide and welcoming. We imagined, along the way, that time near the beginning might not have come to a sharp edge at all, but might have curved and softened, the way the lines on a globe all curve and gather and finally meet at the pole. We imagined the beginning as the smooth, rounded bottom of a wide and shallow valley where the slope is so gentle that you cannot say exactly where the descent ends and the flat bottom begins. There is no cliff. There is no sudden step. There's only a soft and seamless curving until, without any sharp moment at all, you are at the lowest place. And asking what came before becomes like asking what is below the bottom of the valley. You are already there. You have already arrived. There is no further down to go, and there is a deep and gentle peace in that arriving. And does that not feel, now, very much like the way you are drifting towards sleep this very moment? There is no sharp line, is there, between waking and sleeping. There is no cliff you fall over, no door you pass through, no precise instant you could ever point to and name. There is only a soft and seamless curving, a gentle rounding as your thoughts grow slower and your breath grows deeper and the words grow softer and further away. You will not catch the moment you fall asleep tonight, just as the universe could not catch the moment it began. The beginning is real. Your sleep is real, and yet neither has a hard edge that can be found. Both simply, gently are. Let us drift once more to the idea of the breathing universe, because it is such a soft and lovely thought to carry into the deep of the night. We imagined that the universe might expand, as it is doing now, for an enormous stretch of time, and then very slowly begin to draw back together, smaller and warmer and closer, until it bounced, gently, and began again. A breathing in and a breathing out, a falling asleep and a waking. And before our beginning in this dream was simply the previous breath, the slow gathering in of an earlier universe, folding itself down into the soft seed of ours. And before that, another. And before that, another still, stretching back through an eternity of gentle breaths, like the slow and steady rise and fall of a sleeper's chest in a dark and quiet room. We do not know if this is true. We were honest about that, you and I, because honesty is itself a kind of comfort. The breathing universe is one soft song among many, and the world we can see does not clearly tell us whether the cosmos will ever stop expanding and begin to draw back in. But it does not matter tonight whether it is true. Tonight, it is enough to hold the image gently, the image of a cosmos that breathes slowly, endlessly, the way you are breathing now, slowly, endlessly, your own chest rising and falling in the dark, your own small breathing a tiny echo of the great breathing of everything that is. And we imagined, too, the trembling emptiness, the discovery that even the emptiest emptiness is never truly empty. We learned that at the smallest scales, far tinier than anything any eye could ever see, the universe is never perfectly still. There is always a faint, restless trembling, a quiet fizz of energy welling up and sinking back down, like the smallest bubbles forming and gently popping on the surface of a glass of sparkling water left sitting in the quiet of a dark room. Nothing is ever truly at rest. Even the deepest emptiness is gently, endlessly humming to itself in the dark, and we wondered whether our whole universe might have been one of those tiny tremblings, one of those bubbles that did not pop and vanish like the others, but instead caught and held and bloomed slowly outward into everything that ever was, a bubble that did not pop, a flicker that did not fade. Hold that softly now, as you sink. Everything you have ever known, everyone you have ever loved, every sunrise and every ocean, and every quiet night like this one, all of it unfolding, gently, from a single soft trembling in the endless dark, the way a single drop of dew gathers, slowly, on a blade of grass in the cool of the early morning, growing rounder and fuller until it holds, within its small and perfect curve, the entire reflection of the sky, the universe as a drop of dew, the whole cosmos cradled in a single, gentle, gathering beat of light. It is too large to feel all at once, and so you do not try. You simply let it rest beside you, like a large and gentle creature lying down in the grass, breathing slowly, asking nothing of you at all. And we found, did we not, that whenever we tried to say where everything came from, the question simply moved one step further into the dark, like a shadow always staying just ahead of us. We answer where the universe came from with the trembling emptiness, and then the very same question rises again about the emptiness itself. We imagined a long series of soft doors, each one opening onto another door beyond it, like a child asking where the rain comes from, and then where the clouds come from, and then where the sea comes from, on, each answer gently opening a new question. And we wondered softly whether at the very end of all the doors there might be one final door that does not open onto another, a thing that did not come from anything, a thing that simply always was. And we found that this is not a failure of understanding. It may simply be the shape of the deepest truth there is. Let that thought grow soft and distant now, like a light in a window seen from far across a dark field. You do not need to walk toward it. You do not need to reach it. You may simply notice it, glowing gently in the distance, and let it be, and turn your attention back to the warm and simple fact of your own slow breathing, here, in the dark, the final door, the thing that simply is. It can wait. It has waited for all of time, and it will wait patiently while you rest. We remembered, too, that you are made of the dust of dead stars. This is perhaps the gentlest and most astonishing thread of all, and it is worth holding close as you drift down into sleep. The atoms in your body, the tiny pieces that make up your hands, your heart, the slow lungs rising and falling beneath the blankets, were forged long ago in the fiery hearts of ancient stars, stars that lived and died billions of years before the Earth even existed. When those stars reached the ends of their long lives, they scattered their atoms out into the dark, and those atoms drifted for ages upon ages, and eventually gathered together to form the sun, and the earth, and the oceans, and, at long last, you. You are, quite literally, made of starlight grown old and gathered close. You are the cosmos, folded into a small and breathing shape, lying here in the quiet dark. And so, when you looked up at the night sky and felt that soft tug of wonder, you were, in a sense, looking back at your own distant origin. You are the universe, becoming aware of itself. You are a small part of the great old cosmos that has grown quiet enough and gentle enough and awake enough to gaze back out at the rest of it and to wonder, softly, where it all began. There's a deep and tender wonder in that, the kind of wonder that does not quicken the heart but slows it, the kind that makes you feel all at once very small and very much at home. And feeling small, in this way, is not frightening. It is one of the most comforting feelings there is. To be small beneath a vast and ancient sky is to be held, to be cradled, to be a welcome part of something far larger and far older and far kinder than yourself. You belong here. You have always belonged here. You were not dropped into this universe as a stranger. You grew out of it, slowly, gently, the way a flower grows out of the soil, the way a wave rises out of the sea, the way a single soft thought rises out of the deep quiet of a resting mind. You are not separate from the great unfolding that began with that first soft flicker in the trembling dark. You are part of it. You are made of it. You are it, in one small and breathing form, lying here in the warm dark, drifting slowly down toward sleep. And the same gentle rules that shaped the first stars are shaping the slow rise and fall of your breath, right now, in this very moment, holding you as tenderly as they have ever held anything. Breathe slowly now, slower than before, and let the breath go even more slowly still. There is nothing left to do tonight. There is nowhere you need to be. There is no question you need to answer, no mystery you need to solve, no door you need to open. All the great ideas we have wandered among have done their gentle work, and now they may settle, one by one, like leaves drifting down onto the still surface of a quiet pond, each one landing softly, sending out the smallest of ripples, and then growing, still, the breathing universe settling, the rounded edge of time settling, the trembling emptiness settling, the bubble that did not pop settling, the dust of dead stars settling, all of it slowly, softly, coming to rest, the way you are coming to rest here in the deepening dark. And we found, too, near the very end of our wandering, that perhaps the question what came before is not a question that needs an answer at all, but a question that gently dissolves the moment you look at it. Closely, the way the question, what is the loudest color, dissolves, not into a wrong answer, but into a soft recognition that it was never quite the right question to ask. And we found such relief in that. The relief of being allowed to let a puzzle dissolve rather than forcing it to a solution. Tonight, especially, you are allowed to let questions dissolve. You are allowed to stop reaching, stop solving, stop pushing toward conclusions. You are allowed simply to be here, in the dark, breathing, with nothing at all required of you. For the wonder beneath the question remains, soft and luminous, even after the question itself has gently faded away. There is something rather than nothing. There is a universe, vast and old and beautiful and kind, and you are part of it, and you are here, and you are alive enough in this quiet moment to have wondered at the sheer
Liftoff of the Delta rocket
miracle
carrying
of being
Blast,
here
a gamma-ray
at all.
telescope searching
That
for
wonder
unseen
asks
physics
nothing
in the
of you
stars
now.
of the
It
galaxies.
does not need to be understood. It only needs to be felt gently, like warmth, like the soft weight of a blanket, like the slow and steady rhythm of your own breath in the dark. And it will go on being true, whether you are awake to feel it or fast asleep. The way the stars go on shining, whether or not anyone is looking up at them. The way the universe goes on unfolding, gently, tenderly,
T-minus 10,
every
9,
quiet hour
8,
of the long
7,
and peaceful
6,
night.
5,
Have you noticed how much slower the birds have become?
2,
How much softer?
1,
How much
0,
further
and
away?
liftoff
That
of Space
is
Shuttle
as it should
Atlantis
be.
on a
We
mission
are
to
near the
build,
very end
resupply,
now. The
and to do
quietest
research
part of all,
on the
where
International
there is
Space
almost
Station.
nothing left to say, and
Houston
almost
now
nothing
controlling.
left to
Atlantis
think,
begins its
and
penultimate
almost
journey to shore up
nothing
the
left to
International
do
Space
but
Station.
rest. The great old question that we
Atlantis
picked
now in
up
the
at the
proper
start of the
alignment for its
night
8.5-minute
and
ride
turned
to
over
orbit,
and
4.5
over like a
million
smooth
pounds of
stone in
hardware
the
and
dark
humans taking aim
has
on the
been worn
International
so
Outpost.
smooth by all our gentle handling that it no longer has any sharp edges
30
at all.
seconds into the flight,
It is just a smooth,
Atlantis almost 2
round,
miles in
peaceful
altitude,
weight
almost
in the
6 miles
palm
downrange from the
of your
Kennedy
mind.
Space Center already,
And
traveling
you can set
500
it
miles
down
an hour.
now, gently in the dark beside you,
The 3
and
liquid
let it
fuel
go.
main engines now throttling
Let
back
it
to
go.
72%
You
of
do
rated
not need
performance,
to
going into
carry
the
it
bucket,
into
reducing
sleep.
the stress on the
You do
shuttle as it
not
breaks
need
through
to
the sound
carry
barrier.
anything into sleep. The day is over. The wondering is done. The long, slow journey backward through time has brought you, in the end, not to a hard and frightening edge, but to a soft and open peace, a wide and welcoming dark, where there is no before and no after, no beginning and no end, only the quiet and the breath, and the gentle, endless holding of a universe that made you out of starlight and asks nothing of you now but rest. Let us linger a while longer in the soft middle of the night before we make the final slow descent into sleep, because there is no need to hurry toward the ending, and the lingering itself is part of the rest. Think back once more to the strange and dreamlike world of the very small, the world we wandered through earlier, where the tiniest pieces of everything do not behave like solid, dependable things, but more like soft clouds of maybe, spread out and blurry, more like gentle possibilities than like keys resting on a table. Remember how we found that a tiny piece of matter does not sit in one clear spot, but exists as a kind of soft smear of here and there and everywhere until the moment it is looked at, when the cloud settles gently into a single place. And remember the soft, familiar picture we used to hold that strange idea. The picture of lying in bed, half asleep, hearing a faint creak somewhere in the quiet house. In that drowsy moment before you are fully awake, the sound could be anything. It could be the house cooling in the night. It could be the wind. It could be a pet stirring in another room. It could be nothing at all. The sound lives in your half-sleeping mind as a soft cloud of possibilities, all of them faintly present at once, and only if you fully wake and go to look does the cloud settle into a single, definite answer. And we learned that the tiniest pieces of the world live in something like that drowsy, half-asleep state all the time, as gentle clouds of maybe that only settle when they are observed. There is something so deeply restful in that, isn't there? Especially now, as you yourself drift through that very same drowsy borderland between waking and sleeping. The whole solid-seeming world, with all its hard edges and its heavy rules, rests at its deepest level on a foundation of soft and gentle maybe, a shimmer of possibility, a quiet refusal to be pinned down. And if the entire universe was once squeezed into something unimaginably small, then the entire universe was once that soft, that blurry, that full of drifting possibility. The whole cosmos, at its very first moment, was a kind of dream of itself, hovering gently on the edge of being, not yet quite real, not yet quite settled, the way a thought hovers gently on the edge of a dream just before it fully arrives. The universe as a dream, of itself. Hold that softly now, as the borderland of your own sleep grows wider and softer around you. Not a solid, finished thing that suddenly appeared, but a soft, blurry possibility that slowly, gently settled into being, the way a dream settles into a memory in the first quiet moments after you wake. There was no hard, sharp instant of creation, no sudden snap of something out of nothing. There was only a soft welling up, a gradual settling, a quiet drifting from maybe into is. And this is. So very much like the way you yourself are drifting right now, from the soft maybes of waking thought into the settled stillness of sleep, that you can almost feel the kinship in your own slowing breath, in your own loosening shoulders, in the gentle blurring of your own thoughts as they let go, one by one, of the day. Each night you travel a path very much like the path the universe traveled, only in reverse. The universe drifted from soft, blurry possibility into the clear and definite world. We know. And you, each night, drift from the clear and definite world of waking, where everything has its place and its sharp edges, back into the soft, blurry, dreaming world of sleep, where thoughts melt gently into one another and the firm lines of things dissolve. You are, in a sense, returning each night to the soft and dreamy state from which everything once came. You are sinking back toward the gentle blur at the root of all things. And there is a deep peace in that returning, a sense of coming home to the soft place where you and the stars and the whole vast cosmos all quietly began. Let us breathe slowly, together, and let that gentle thought drift away like smoke, because it has done its quiet work, and the mind does not need to hold it tightly. We are sinking deeper now, and the deeper we sink, the less we need to grasp. The ideas can come and go like the slow turning of the stars overhead, each one rising softly into view, lingering for a while, and then sinking gently below the horizon of your fading attention, replaced by the next, in an endless, unhurried procession through the long and quiet night. And consider once more as we drift the strange and wonderful order of everything, the quiet consistency woven through the whole vast cosmos. We noticed earlier how easy it is to overlook because we are so used to it, but how astonishing it truly is. The universe is orderly. It follows patterns. The same kinds of things happen in the same kinds of ways, over and over, all across the unimaginable reaches of space and the long, slow stretches of time. A stone dropped here falls just as a stone dropped on the far side of the cosmos would fall. The light of a distant star obeys the very same gentle rules as the light of a small candle on your table. There's a steady, quiet music that plays the same way everywhere, and it is this music, this deep consistency, that allows the universe to gather itself up into stars and worlds, and slow, soft, breathing, creatures like you. And the most comforting part of all is that you are not separate from that music. You are made of it. The same gentle rules that shaped the very first stars in the deep dark of the early cosmos are the rules that shape the slow rise and fall of your breath right now, in this quiet room, in this warm dark. You are a small, living expression of the very same patterns that hold the galaxies together. The order of the cosmos runs right through you, steady and quiet and kind, holding you together as tenderly as it holds the stars, beating in your heart, breathing in your lungs, humming softly in every atom of your slowly resting body. You are not a stranger to the order of everything. You are one of its gentlest and most intricate songs. Rest in that for a while. You are held by the same quiet rules that hold the stars. You are woven from the same patient music that plays across the whole vast cosmos. There is nothing chaotic about you, nothing accidental, nothing out of place. You belong to the deep order of things as surely as the moon belongs to the night sky, as surely as the tide belongs to the sea, as surely as the slow breath belongs to the sleeping body. And that belonging asks nothing of you. It is simply there, quietly true, whether you are awake to notice it or fast asleep, holding you gently through every hour of the long and peaceful night. So let us turn, one last gentle time, back toward the great old question that we picked up at the very start of our journey, the question of what came before the beginning. We have carried it with us all through the night, turning it over and over, and we have watched it slowly change its shape in our hands. We began by imagining a clear and simple before, the way an unlit candle comes before its flame, and step by step, soft idea by soft idea, that clear before melted into something far stranger and far gentler and far more peaceful. A breathing rhythm with no true start. A rounded edge where earlier gently fades away. A patient, humming emptiness full of sleeping possibility. A bubble that did not pop. A dream of the universe settling slowly into being. A final door that opens onto no further door. And a question that in the end may gently dissolve, leaving behind nothing but a soft and spacious peace. None of these was a final answer, and we never needed one. All of them were simply ways of holding the mystery gently, ways of carrying the great old question into sleep, rather than wrestling it toward some hard conclusion. And now, as the night reaches its deepest and quietest hour, even the holding can be set down. You do not need to hold the mystery anymore. You do not need to carry the question. You can let your hands fall open in the dark and let the great old question rest there, lightly, weightlessly, asking nothing of you, the way the dark itself rests over you now, soft and wide and endlessly kind. Let us slow down even more now, slower than we have moved all. Night, because the slower we go, the deeper the rest, and there is nowhere left to be but here. Notice your breath. Notice how it has grown quieter and longer and softer, all on its own, without any effort from you. The way the universe expands without any effort. The way the stars shine without any effort. The way the night deepens without anyone asking it to. Your breath knows how to slow. Your body knows how to rest. You do not have to manage any of it. You can simply lie here and let the knowing happen on its own, the way the whole vast cosmos lets itself unfold, gently, without strain, without hurry, without end. Remember, once more, that you are made of starlight grown old, the carbon in your cells, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones. All of it was forged long ago in the fiery hearts of ancient stars, stars that lived their long lives and then, at the end, scattered their atoms out into the dark, where they drifted for ages upon ages before gathering, at last, into the sun and the earth and the slow, soft shape of you. You are the dust of dead stars, gathered close and made to breathe. And so when you lie here in the dark and feel the slow rise and fall of your own chest, you are feeling something very old indeed, something that has been part of the universe since the very first stars lit up the early dark. You are ancient. You are made of ancient things, and there is a deep, quiet comfort in that, in knowing that the very stuff of you has been here, in one form or another, for almost as long as there has been a here at all. And remember that whenever we tried to find where everything truly came from, the question gently moved one step further into the dark, like a soft shadow always staying just ahead of us. We pictured a long, quiet series of doors, each one opening onto another door beyond it, the way a child's questions open one onto the next. Where does the rain come from? The clouds. Where do the clouds come from? The sea, lifted by the sun. Where does the sea come from? Where does the sun come from? On and on, each gentle answer opening a new and gentler question, until, at the very end of all the doors, we wondered whether there might be one last door that opens onto no further door at all, a thing that did not come from anything, a thing that simply always was. And we found that this is not something to be troubled by. It may simply be the quiet shape of the deepest truth there is, and you can let it rest, undisturbed in the far soft distance, while you yourself sink gently toward sleep. There is such peace in not needing to walk through that final door tonight. There is such peace in letting it stay closed, glowing softly far across the dark field of the mind, while you turn your gentle attention back to the warm and simple fact of your own slow breathing. Here, in the quiet, in the dark. The final door has waited for all of time. It will wait a little longer. It will wait while you rest. And perhaps that is the truest comfort of all, the knowledge that the great mysteries are patient, that they do not need you to solve them, that they are content to hold their secrets gently while you lay down your wondering and sleep, and remember the breathing of the universe, the slow expansion and the slow drawing in, the rise and the fall that may go on, in one dream of the cosmos, forever. We imagined it as a great chest, rising and falling in a dark and quiet room, breathing in over unthinkable ages and breathing out over unthinkable ages, each breath a universe, each universe a breath. And we noticed how your own breathing, here and now, is a small and perfect echo of that great breathing. You breathe in, and somewhere in the dream, the cosmos is expanding. You breathe out, and somewhere it is gently drawing back, in and out, rising and falling, expanding and softening, and with every slow breath you sink a little deeper into the warm dark, a little closer to the soft and bottomless rest that has been waiting for you all night long. Have you noticed how all the great ideas of the night have begun to blur softly together, the way distant lights blur together when your eyes grow heavy and half close? The breathing universe, and the rounded edge of time, and the trembling emptiness, and the bubble that did not pop, and the dream of the cosmos settling into being, and the final door, and the dust of dead stars, all of them are drifting now into a single soft glow, a gentle blur of wonder, with no sharp edges left between them. You do not need to keep them separate anymore. You do not need to hold any one of them. You can let them all melt together into one warm, quiet feeling, The feeling of being a small and welcome part of something unimaginably vast and unimaginably old and unimaginably kind. That feeling is all that needs to remain. Everything else can drift away into the dark. And so, as the night settles into its deepest stillness, let us set down, one final time, the great old question we have carried so far. What came before the beginning? We do not know. No one knows. No one ever has. And tonight, that not knowing is not a wall, but a wide and welcoming sky, an open dark in which you are free to rest for as long as you like. The question has been worn so smooth by all our gentle handling that it no longer has any sharp edges at all. It is just a smooth, round, peaceful weight, and you may set it down now, softly, in the dark beside you, and let your hands fall open, and let it go. You have carried it far enough. You may rest now. Let us pause here in this last soft stillness and simply be, for a little while, with nothing required, nothing asked, nothing to do but breathe. The whole long night has carried us slowly backward through time, all the way to the gentle edge where the beginning fades into mystery. And now there is nowhere further to go, and nothing further to seek. There is only this warm dark, and your slow breath, and the soft, endless quiet that holds you. Think of how far we have traveled, you and I, from the open field beneath the ancient stars, through the rising dough and the candle flame, and the winter field full of sleeping seeds, through the trembling emptiness and the bubble that held and the dream of the universe settling into being, all the way down to here, to this single quiet moment, where all of it comes gently, finally, to rest. And notice, as you lie here, how the very largest things and the very smallest things have woven themselves together over the course of the night until they are no longer separate at all. The vast, breathing cosmos, and your own soft breath, the great unfolding of all the stars, and the slow loosening of your own shoulders into the dark, the trembling emptiness at the root of everything, and the gentle blur of your own thoughts as they let go of the day, the beginning of all things, 13 billion years away, and the beginning of your own sleep, only moments from now. They are not so different in the end. They are the same gentle motion, the same soft settling, the same quiet drift from the sharp and definite into the warm and dreaming dark, repeated, tenderly, on every scale there is, from the whole vast cosmos down to the single sleeping breath of a single resting soul. You are a small, warm echo of the whole vast universe, lying here in the quiet, and the universe perhaps is a vast and ancient echo of you, breathing slowly in the dark. There is no separation, no distance, no wall between you and the great old story you have been wondering about all night. You are made of it. You are part of it. You are it, in one small and breathing form, gently coming to rest at the soft far end of an unimaginably long and patient unfolding. And whatever came before the beginning, the simple and luminous fact remains, soft as starlight, that the beginning happened, and led, across all that unthinkable time, to this, to you, to this single, quiet, perfect moment of rest. Imagine, one last time, the great breathing of everything, the slow expansion and the slow drawing in, the rise and the fall, and feel how your own breathing, slow and soft and deep, is a small and perfect echo of it. You breathe in, and somewhere the universe is expanding. You breathe out, and somewhere it is drawing gently back, in and out, expanding and softening. And with each slow breath, you sink a little deeper, a little further, C-D-D-D, little closer to the soft and bottomless dark where all our wondering finally lies down to rest. There is no hurry. There is all the time in the world. There has always been all the time in the world, and tonight, that time is yours, to spend in nothing more than breathing and resting, and slowly, gently letting go. You are a small, warm, breathing part of a universe that did not have to exist, and yet does. You are made of the dust of ancient stars. You are the cosmos, grown quiet and gentle and aware, resting here in the dark at the soft far end of 13 billion years of patient unfolding. And whatever came before the beginning, whether a breath or a bubble, or a rounded edge, or a final door, or simply a gentle, fertile, waiting silence, the simple and luminous fact remains, soft as starlight, that the beginning happened and led, across all that unthinkable time, to this, to you, to this single quiet moment, in this warm dark, where you lie, breathing slowly, held completely, asking nothing, needing nothing, drifting now, at last, into the deep and peaceful sleep that the whole long story of the universe has been gently, tenderly carrying you toward all along. So let the last of the words grow soft and slow and far away. Let your thoughts blur gently into the warm dark, the way the beginning blurs gently into mystery, with no sharp edge, no hard line, only a seamless, gentle curving down into rest. There is nothing more to know. There is nothing more to ask. There is only the quiet and the breath and the vast, old, kind universe, holding you as it has held everything, from the very first soft flicker in the trembling dark until now. You are home. You have always been home. And now, gently, slowly, completely, you may rest. Sleep softly, small and welcome part of everything that is. Sleep softly, beneath the ancient stars, in the cool grass, in the warm dark, held by a universe that made you out of light. Sleep softly, and let the great old question drift away into the night like a slow and final breath, released at last, with nothing held back, and nothing at all left to carry. Let it go, the way the night lets go of the day, the way the tide lets go of the shore, the way the universe, long ago, let go of its first soft breath and let everything gently begin. There is only the quiet now. There is only the rest. There is only the soft, deep, endless dark, gently breathing all around you and within you and carrying you, slowly, tenderly, all the way down. Good night. Sleep well. And rest now, completely, in the gentle dark from which everything once so softly came. There is nothing more to know, and nothing more to ask, and nothing more to do, but breathe and rest, and let the soft dark carry you gently all the way home.